Good morning, SMP Nation. How are we this morning? Let me get to my comments so I can talk to you guys. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Takeover Tuesday. This is episode 55, which is that's crazy. We've been doing this for so long. Oh my gosh. But welcome back. So excited that you are here. And today, this episode was meant for last week, but we got sick. I got sick. I had completely lost my voice. I had just some issues and I could not speak. So I was like, I can't do the show if I can't sit and chat with you guys. So we did not do it last week, but I got the design. I created a design for last week that I obviously didn't get the chance to show you and stitch out with you all. So I gave it to everybody in the SMP Nation Facebook group last week. So you guys have it. Maybe you haven't had the chance to download it or you haven't stitched it out yet. I know a few people have, but it is in the Facebook group. So you guys can go download it and go check it out. But I was like, I made the design and I still want to do a show on it and I still want to stitch it out for you guys. This is what we're making today. It is a little mug rug. It is so adorable. Here's one of, I've made probably 4 or 5 now. They're all over the office in different places at different people's desks. But this is what we're making. Super, super cute. Very simple little mug rug. This is such a great beginner project. When I first started doing embroidery, mug rugs were like my favorite thing to do. I was always making them because they were such a great way to get you familiar with things in the hoop and trimming and just it was such a good project to start off with. So if we have any beginners in the house, this project will be perfect for you. And it's in the description box down below now. So you don't have to be in the Facebook group to get it. But if you are in our Facebook group, it is there as well. So download the design. I have different formats in the link, but if your format is not inside the link and you can't see your design file, shoot me an email. It's kennedyc@SewingMachinesPlus.com and I will get you the right format. But I just know from the last times that I've done designs and things like that, I have a few that are the most popular formats. Like a lot of people use Brother or Baby Lock or Janome or Bernina or, we have kind of like the most popular ones. So I stuck with those, but I also attached the SVG file. So if you are a digitizer or you have some software and you want to mess around with it in there, you can also snatch that as well. So lots of options in there for you that you can go check out. But yes, that's what we're going to be working on today. So let me know if you've already made this, if you have before. I know a couple people have. I've seen some pictures in the Facebook group. So that's super exciting. But here it is. Every time I go live, people come over and they try and make me laugh. But you know what? I'm not going to let them. I'm not going to let them. Okay. So also, I went to our San Marcos store yesterday and I picked up some new fabric. So we have some new fabrics and I'm going to show some of them as we're going along in between stitch outs because I know you all love fabric too. We all love fabric. So, and it's also a perfect way to get inspired just by looking at all the different designs and things like that. So yes, because I have to be honest, my fabric collection is growing and it's getting a little out of hand, but fabric is always meant to be used. So, and that's great with the shows because we are going to be working on it and getting through all this fabric, but I have a lot of scraps. So we need to get through all the scraps so that way we can get to the new fabric and, keep going, keep the groove going. So I've got everything set up here, but I just have a few announcents that I want to let you guys know of before we get it started. Gail said fabric is addictive, and yes, it is. It's very addictive. Every time I walk in the store, it's like the fabric wall that we have at our San Marcos store just like pulls you in. I'm like, oh, color and patterns and all this. I just get so excited. So yes, okay. Well, couple of announcements really quickly. This week, so October 16th through the 20th, Blaine mentioned it a little bit, and I mentioned it a little bit last Thursday, but we have our National Trade-In Month happening this week. So if you have a machine that you've had for a while and you've been looking to upgrade, but you haven't, you haven't gone through with it, or you just can't decide or anything like that, we will take your old machine and get you some credit for that, and then you can then upgrade to a top of the line machine. But I highly recommend that you guys give us a call and call in because um, each machine is different. So, how used it is, stitch count, things like that. There's so many things that go into it, and our sales experts on the phone are waiting for you to call. They are waiting to take your order with getting all the info for your machine, and they will help you get all of the information done for, getting the machine here, all of that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend you call in if you are interested in the trade in week because we have lots of options for you, and literally just give us a call and let us know what machine and we will take it from there. So that's all you got to do. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-401-8151. I would definitely jump on this, guys. I'm just saying. But also, we have so many things coming up and so many other opportunities for you to save big. So if you didn't want to get rid of your machine, maybe you just are attached and you love it so much. We've got Cyber Monday coming up on November 27th. We're going to have some crazy deals. You don't want to miss out on that. And it's an all-day stream, and every 15 minutes we have a different machine, a different product on the screen, and we have a different educator going through. It's going to be fun. I'm very excited. And then coming up after that, we have Countdown to Christmas. And Countdown to Christmas is like our Sew Fest, Quilt Fest, Hoop Fest, but it's all geared towards Christmas and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to have lots of demos, lots of presentations, education, all of that. So make sure you tune in all week. Take your time off work. It's December 11th through the 15th. We'll all be there hanging out. So I hope to see you guys chatting and in the comments. And of course, we're going to have giveaways and all that stuff. I did talk about last time I was here with you all. We haven't decided on a contest, but if you guys want one, let us know. Let us know what you guys are thinking, if you want one, and we will make it happen. We'll make it happen. Okay, so with all of that coming up, trade-in week, we've got Countdown this Thursday. We have a very big show, and that is because we have exclusively here at Sewing Machines Plus, we have recertified Grace long arm machines that are discounted so well and so nicely. And if you are waiting or you have been wanting to get into long arming or start your long arming journey, things like that, we have some amazing long arm machines. And recertified is just that some of the machines had blemishes on it, maybe on the outside, on the physical machine, like had scratches, had marks, anything like that. They have been reserviced, rechecked, re-inspected. They are perfect and in great condition and ready to be shipped out to their new homes. So that is a good little sign. I'm here just hoping you guys will all just check out. You can go to our website as well and go see all the specials as well. But yes, lots of good stuff. And we'll be talking more about those long arms on Thursday. So if you're interested, mark your calendar, set your alarm for this Thursday at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking all about those long arms, and it's going to be very exciting. So with all of that being said, let's get started with our little mug rug. So I have also in that link, when you click the link to get your design, there is a PDF of written instructions and a written supply sheet. But this could easily be done with scraps, just as long as your scraps fit over the size of the mug rug when it's stitching out. You could totally do this. I'm going to show you just all that you need. I'll run through quickly and just kind of show you everything that you'll need, and then we will get started. So first thing is I am using Insole Bright today, but you can use batting if you want. The reason why I love Insole Bright, we have this on our website and in our retail stores, is because you can use it. It's meant for, oven mitts and coasters and things like that when you're putting warm, cold, hot things on there. So I like this to, I don't know, I just use this instead of batting. I also had a scrap of this. This was a little bit bigger, so I just trimmed it down to size. But I really do like Insole Bright, and it works almost the same as batting. It's that same material, same texture, but it's a little bit safer when it comes to hot and cold items being set on top of this mug rug. So if you've got a hot cup of coffee, you're just playing it safe. So love this. All right, oh no, I'm not ready to switch my camera yet. Almost. So fabric, I'm using so I'm recreating this one. So here's the front, or actually, yes, I will switch my camera. 1 second so you can see a closer look. So here is the top. So here I actually did like a light lime green stippling on there, and I really liked it because it's this fabric that we're using today. So I like how it added that little green vibe to it. I really liked it. And then the back, I found this pumpkin fabric at the store. The minute I saw it, I was like, I need this. So cute. So it matches perfectly with the little theme, but that's what it looks like. So what you're going to need is some of this fabric. So this will be your top fabric. It can be anything you want. I love seeing everybody's customizations, just as long as it'll fit, and I'll show you, we'll do a whole stitch out so you can see how big it is. The finished size of this is it's 6.5 inches long and 3.5 inches wide. So good size. So use that for picking up all your scraps and making sure all your sizes are good. I always like to make my pieces that I'm going to be stitching on a little bit bigger because it's easier to cut pieces off and cut more once it's already done stitching than to not have enough. And I'm sure we've all been there before where we don't have enough when it comes to in the hoop projects, or I like applique, things like that. So then for the back, so you got the insole right, you got the top fabric. For the back, I took these two pieces of the pumpkin fabric, pressed them so I folded them in half, pressed them so they've got a little crease, and that's how we're going to finish our mug rug, so we'll be able to turn it inside out. So make sure you do that. If you don't do that, you might be in trouble. Sometimes, one time when I did this, I creased it, or I pressed it, got it in half, and then I went through here and did a little decorative stitch before I put it onto the mug rug and finished it all up, and I really like that look. So if that's something that you want to try, go for it. Go for it. The options are endless. Okay, so let's start here. I've got some tearaway stabilizer in my hoop, and tearaway, so with this mug rug, I've used cutaway for one of the stitch outs. I used peel and stick, and then this time I'm using tearaway. I think tearaway is my favorite because it's so easy to remove once you're done. So highly recommend tearaway. This is the Stay Perfect one. We have this on our website, and we have tons of different sizes as well. So if you only have a machine that does a 5x7, we have pre-cut stabilizer that is fit to the size of those hoops, so you don't have to cut. It's really convenient. This one is off the roll. We have rolls available as well. So if you have a preference of, oh, you like to cut with a roll, you prefer rolls, or you prefer the pre-cuts, either way, it's all the same and it works amazingly. I love our Stay Perfect stabilizers. Okay, so let's get started. So the first step with this stitch out is going to be a placement stitch. And I'm going to use black thread in the stitch out order on your machine. It's going to have like a blue, it's going to be blue, it's going to be blue for your placement stitch, and then red for your tacked on stitch. So blue placement. I'm going to use black today so it can show up and you can see it on screen. But let's go ahead and get started. And so we're going to do our placement stitch, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So let's get started. I've already got my machine threaded. Again, I'm using black thread, but with these tacked on and placement stitches, you don't necessarily have to use the colors that I put in the thread order. It just kind of helps differentiate the different steps because they're all the same. They're stitching the same shape, so it's just nice to be able to tell the difference. Okay, let's do our first one. So again, this is just the placement stitch. This is just going to give you an idea of where you need to put your fabric, which is nice. And also let me know if you guys can still hear me while I'm doing this, because I am very close to the machine. But this one's not too loud, so which is nice. All right, so there it is. All right. So now what I'm going to do is first, we're going to lay down our batting. And see, I like to make sure it covers over the stitch line just because you don't want any mishaps and you don't want anything to be flat, or you don't want, you know, certain areas to have batting and then certain areas to not have batting. So I always like to do that. And then here is my top fabric. So it goes batting and then top fabric. So we're going to leave this right here. Actually, let me take this off and do it at the same time. All right. So we've got our batting and our top fabric here. Let's go over. And then I always just like to check and make sure we're good. All right. Okay, we are good to go. I'm gonna move it over just a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna do our next step. I also put a little bit of fusible on the back of this top fabric just because I wanted to keep it a little bit more structured. I don't know if it's, I haven't done this before really, but I don't know if it's gonna make a difference. We will see, we will see. But I do like it. I do like adding fusible to all my fabric just because I always feel like it just makes it a little bit easier to work with and less flimsy. All right, so now we're on to our next step, which is the tack down. Now this is gonna tack down the batting as well as the top fabric, and just let's get through that and then we will move on. All right. Now I always have to keep a hand in reach because I don't want any bubbles happening, but be very careful of the needle. So just make sure everything is staying in place. I always like to feel the batting, make sure it's still there. All right, cool. So that was probably the hardest part of this whole thing. I promise. All right, so now we've got this here, and now it's time for stippling. So I did green on this one, and I really like it, but I don't know, should I do a different color? Let me know. What color should I do the stippling? Here's the green for reference with the orange pumpkins, and then I also did brown. The font is in brown. So what do you guys think? What color should I do the stippling? Let me know, let me know. I also was thinking about like a yellow, maybe more yellow. I don't know. Ooh, burnt orange. Ooh, okay. I have a lighter orange that I could use, or I could even do gold. Ooh. You guys are saying green. Okay, we're gonna keep with green. But while I'm threading this, let me come back to me. Bernadette asked what machine I'm using. I'm using the Brother 1700E. I have been using, this is the only embroidery machine that I've used for this. I mean, since Takeover Tuesday, what else? I've used, I think one of the shows I did it on an XJ1, but I've been using this machine for a majority of the shows. Probably 90% of the shows that you see on Takeover Tuesday are all the projects. But I love this machine. I really do. It's got the 6x10 frame, which I think is perfect. I've never needed for any of the projects that I'm doing, I've never needed a hoop bigger than a 6x10. So that's why I think that this machine is such a great option because yes, there are larger projects that you could do. Oh, I also did use a flare. You're right. You're right. I did use a flare for a while. Both are awesome machines. Both are up to a 6x10. So basically I was using the same machine when it came to the hoop size and some of the features, but I really like this Brother, the NQ1700E. You can adjust the speed on it. So for this show, I adjusted it a little slower so that way you can really see what is going on and you can see all the stitches. And especially since I'm so close up, I didn't want the needle to be like going crazy and all over the place. But I love this machine. It also has all of the auto thread cutting and the thread jumping. Everything is very automated on here. And having the auto threader, let me show you guys this. I'm going to thread my machine. So I've got this all threaded. Look at how easy this is to thread. I will never not be amazed. So you put your foot down. I've got my thread up here. Look at that. I don't know if you could see it because that thread is so light, but it threaded it with one button. So easy, so easy. Cuts like a good, what, probably 2 to 3 minutes out of my sewing project routine, which those 2 to 3 minutes, they could be used for something else. They could be used. So it's so nice being able to save time with that threader. And also, I know I'm young, but I do wear contacts and my eyes are bad. So it's so nice because sometimes I can't really see the needle and I just struggle with that. So super easy, really, really nice. Okay, let's go back to the machine and we are going to do some stippling now. So I picked the green, I put that in here. I will tell you guys what colors of thread I'm using here in just a second, but we're gonna get started. One thing I am gonna do, there's a little piece of thread right here, and I'm gonna trim it just really quickly. All right, so now let's get started with our stippling. I love watching this stip out. Oh, it is so satisfying. All right, I just pressed the start button and now we're getting started. I almost, right before I started this, I almost forgot to change my bobbin and my needle. And like 5 minutes before I started the show, I ran out to our service techs and because I didn't have any needles left, and I was like, "Can I please borrow a needle really quickly? I just want to make sure nothing happens for the show." So if you've ever been there, I totally relate. I'm like running across the office looking for bobbins and needles, but we made it work. We got a fresh bobbin and we got a fresh needle. So, and I'm using a universal needle today. I'm just using a 9014 needle. If you prefer your embroidery needles or any other types of needles, go ahead and use that. I feel like needles can be very personal preference sometimes on what you like and what you don't like, but I am using 9014. That is what I would recommend as well, the sizing for the embroidery machine, especially with the threads that we're using. So, awesome. Okay, let me look at some comments. I want to see what you guys are saying. All right. Exactly. I feel like Kathy said starting with a new needle helps you be more successful. Exactly. I feel like once we put a new needle in, it's like, okay, we're getting started. It's a new project. It helps you for the rest of the time. And then it just cuts out any more problems. So if something happens, you know it's not a new needle because I just changed it, right? So awesome. And do you see that? Let me try and zoom you in closer while this is stitching out because I want to give you the best view. I didn't pick a very good stippling color because it's so light, but let's see. I'm going to try and get you over. I don't want to move the camera while it's on full screen so you guys are getting seasick. All right. Let's go back. Hopefully you can see it a little bit more closely. There we go. And it'll come back in a little bit soon. Those front pieces. Yes, changing out a needle for every project is key. All right. Or at least if you're not making a project, I would say the rule of thumb is probably every 8 hours of sewing. So if you sew for 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, you really don't need to replace your needle every single time. That I feel like that would just become a waste of your needles. But I would say after every 8 hours of sewing, because I don't use my machines. I maybe will use them for like an hour each day. So I will go and change them every probably 3 or 4 days if I'm consistently using them for about an hour every day, just to be sure. And then for shows, I always like to just change them because, I'm working on a project and we're live and you never know what the live gremlins are up to trying to stop and give me problems. So always got to make sure you got a new needle. Yes, Barbara said it goes by itself. Yeah, all I had to do was press this. Let me give you a better view. This green button right there, once it's threaded, and this goes completely by itself. So if if I've got a busy day and I need to get this project done, I can just hit go and I can go, do the dishes, or I can stay in the room, or if I need to do another project, I can get started on that while just keeping an eye on the machine. It'll go and do this until it's done, and it will only do this thread portion. So for example, it's only going to do the stippling across this whole project, and then it's going to stop, and then it will cut the thread, and it will move it to the next area that it needs to be in while you do your thread change, and then you just hit the go button again and you can continue on. So that is super nice when it comes to embroidery, because as you can tell, this is taking a few minutes. I believe this is going to take, we're already halfway through, but this is about a 7-minute stitch out for this stippling. So that's 7 minutes that I can go run and, you know, do the dishes or clean up my sewing room, or it's just nice to be able to leave it for a second. You can go, you know, stay in the same area. I never walk too far away from it. I always stay in the same vicinity, but it never has a problem. It's never had a problem. The only time it's funny because I'll walk away from it, and that's the times that I run out of bobbin thread. So I'll come back and I'm like, what happened? And it's like, oh, you're out of bobbin thread. So that's always fun. Ooh, Bernadette just got her Altair upgrade kit. Ooh. Elevated craft set. She needs to make 25 of these by tomorrow. Well, each of these takes 25 minutes. So at least it's not too long of a stitch out if you are rushing. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, and cleaning your machine too. Alexandria mentioned her cleaning her bobbin area. Yes. So any chance you can, just to open up the bobbin area and get some of that dust and lint out, it's always so nice. That just always helps your machine run better, for sure. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Dee Dee said she loves the In the Hoop projects. In the Hoop projects are probably my favorite. I did a lot of them when I started filming Takeover Tuesdays, and I started doing projects because they were so simple, and the fact that they're all just in one space, and then once you're done, you take it out, flip it inside out. It's so easy. I've never had a problem with In the Hoop projects. They're so fun, and they're very impressive, especially like Reen's embroidery designs from Embroidery Garden. I love her bag designs. Who else has some good ones? Oh, Kimberbell, of course. She has some great ones. Bugs Adventures. I don't know off the top of my head, but if I were to guess, it would probably be in between 25, maybe 20 to 25 pounds. It is really not that heavy at all. I just lifted it up from one of the Stay Perfect tables that I had on the other side of this little cubicle. I had it on one side and I just picked it up and moved it. It was so easy. It was not hard. Dun, dun, dun. All right, we're coming up. We're almost done. Ooh, Neva uses hoops when she does free motion projects. That is so smart. I've never heard someone doing that before, but I love that. I might have to try, because I have tried free motion. Like, I've tried doing free motion quilting, and I don't know why. I don't have the muscle memory for it yet. I need to keep practicing, but well, I'll get there. Corey has, at the San Marcos store, has so many little techniques to help, like, if you're doing a long arm machine, like tape a little marker to your long arm and then go around so you can practice that without starting on a project. So such great ideas. All right, let me do a little close up so you can see all this stitching here. I'm going to go like this. There we go. I kind of did not pick a good fabric for you to really see the stippling, but I kind of like the effect that it has, you know, because it just adds that little green hue. I love it. Okay. So next up, now we're starting with the pumpkins. So we're going to start on these little decorative things. We've got some satin stitches going on here, and then we'll go into this. So let's start on our pumpkins. So I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, do I want to switch this up? Do I want to switch this one up? Should I do a light? Should I do dark here and then light on this side just to keep it different? I don't know. I kind of like the light first. So let's go with the light one. We're going to do, let me tell you the colors that I used. So this is Exquisite ES 1619. I love this color. I use it in a lot of my projects. It's so nice. And in the light, it's so shiny. Like with this, it almost gives a little like sparkle shine. I love it. And Exquisite threads have never, ever, ever given me a problem with my machine. So Exquisite and Floriani are my go-tos. All right, hang on, my threads are getting all messed up here. But now for my first pumpkin, I'm gonna use ES 646. And all these are available on our website. You can go check out. This is a really pretty orange, and this is what it looks like when it's all stitched out. And I think this next to that darker orange, oh, it's so pretty. I really like it. But I don't have very many oranges. When I was doing this project, I had these two, and then I think I have two more different types of oranges. And I'm like, well, I gotta make this work. So, yes. Delcia said, once you find, oh no, the comment went away. I loved it. Bum, 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 bum. Oh no, where'd she go? Okay. Delcia said, when you find a thread that your machine loves, you learn to love it too. Yes, yes, absolutely. I didn't notice at first because I loved the color selection between Exquisite and Floriani. And then I started noticing that I would just keep buying Exquisite and I'd keep getting Exquisite. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I do have a favorite. Maybe I do. All right, you ready to see us threading again? So once you put your foot down, I'm going to try and show you these buttons real quick. Put that foot down. You can thread your needle. So one little push and we're ready to go. So let's start on this. Oh, nope, hang on. Oh, did it get caught? No, we're good. Oh, I'm hearing problems. Hold on one second. I heard something. Whenever I hear some clanking going around, I have to go ahead and check, make sure we're all good. Okay, I think we're good. We're all rethreaded. All right, let me trim this thread. I think we're okay. Let me check underneath the machine. Oh, I think I know what happened. We got some bunching going on. Let me check this really quick. I'm going to switch this camera. Whenever I hear little clanking or things like that, I always have to go through and double check. Like this, for example, that is never fun. And it happens. Things like this do happen. It's very normal. But what we can do, you can just take some scissors, cut some of it off, get your seam ripper, get it out. And it's a fix, a simple fix. Like this didn't even mess up my project, which is the best. As long as it doesn't mess up your project and it still looks good, we're good. Okay. Yeah, that sound is usually a bird's nest. Yep. You become accustomed to that sound. As soon as you hear it, you're like, okay, I know to immediately turn off the machine. This is another great little tool, this seam fix. You can also get this on our website. It's got two different sized seam rippers, so you can easily get all this out. Now, if you did not see what was just happening, we just had a little bird's nest. So if you are an embroiderer, you've probably seen this before, but all I'm doing is just taking it out of the back. We just got a little bunching on the backside of the machine, but thankfully our project is still in good condition. So that's awesome. All right. It's best to show if something like this happens, show you how to fix it. So all I'm going to do is just pull out this little piece here. All right, we're good on that. No more thread. But now I'm going to quickly go in and check my bobbin area. Don't forget to check your bobbin area because look, I found a piece of thread. I found a piece of thread. I did go and clean this morning. So always got to check. Always got to check. It's better to be safe than sorry. And the nice thing is, again, this had no effect on my project. So it's okay. You just breathe. You can freak out for a second and then it's all good. So I'm going to fix my thread and we will start again. Now I'm going to show you something cool that this machine has, a really nice feature. So let me move this over to my screen really quick. All right, I think you'll be able to see this. Let me move this up. Okay, let me get you over to my screen. So, if I go right here, and if you have a, machine, like, if you're a Brother Baby Lock and you have a machine, I don't know, I think it starts with the flare and upwards, you can go to all your steps. So, like, here, we were just starting to stitch out this first pumpkin, so I can either move back 1 single stitch like this and go back to the beginning, or I can go minus 100, which will take me back to another portion of it'll take you 100 stitches back, and you can go to the thread change. So these thread buttons here, you can see you can go back, and if you go back to 3, that takes you back to the stippling. You go like this, 4, takes you back to the pumpkin. So now we're starting at the beginning. So I'm going to come back over here to my camera. All right. So let's do that. All right, now let's try it again. I'm gonna put my foot down. Sometimes something that also helps is just slowing down your machine. So I can go back over to my screen here, 1 second. And we can go to the little file, the paper, piece of paper here, and it'll scroll through all these different settings. So right now I have it at 500. You could slow it down to 300, 350. So if you want it to slow down, I'm gonna start off, I'm just gonna let it go slow for a second, and just make sure that we're all in good hands. So let's go back and we will get started. Can you tell I'm very cautious? Oh, I'm hearing it again. Okay. What did I say about the Wi-Fi gremlins and the live gremlins? They're coming today. Now let's see. I am gonna go ahead and rethread. So once this has happened again, yep. So this is very normal. I just want everybody to know if you've had this situation, this is normal and there's fixes to this. But one thing that I did not try, let me switch my camera back, is rethreading the needle. So we're gonna try that again, but let me just trim these. Okay, let me check your comments. I also, another thing it could be is I'm using a new bobbin today. So, new bobbin. All right. And again, no damage to the project. That's all. That's the most important thing here. So, okay, I'm going to just pick this out really quick. All right. See, this is how you know you're really becoming a crafter or an embroiderer or a sewer or anything like that, because you quickly learn the sounds that you hear. You like can differentiate the sounds between good sounds and bad sounds of an embroidery machine. So I'm just making sure I got all this out. And it's so funny because this morning before the show, I'm like, I really want to make sure that everything's good to go and everything's all ready. I like double, quadruple checked. So here I'm just taking a little thread, a seam ripper, and I'm really trying not to mess with any of the stippling, which is good because right where this is starting to stitch out, there is no stippling. So there we go. There's a little piece of bobbin thread in there. Where did my tweezers go? I don't have tweezers, but that is okay. All right. So we're getting the rest of that thread out. Let me cut the bottom. And I'm actually going to go back to my other bobbins really quickly because I have a feeling that it's these ones. Hold on 1 second. Where are my bobbins? Okay. Let's try. Third time's a charm. Whew. All right. Let me take this out. So we're going to re-thread. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring this up here. This is going to be a troubleshooting takeover Tuesday now. I'm going to show you all the different ways you can check to make sure your machine is running good. Started with a project and now we're doing machine maintenance, which is fine. That's perfect. Okay. So if you've never seen how to thread these machines before, they are super easy. So Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to take my orange thread. I love these spool caps. If you get these when you get machines, oh my gosh, they make such a big difference. I always was having trouble with, see, doing that. Did you see that? I always had trouble with threads doing that, and then once I started using these little spool caps, I can go ahead and just get started. Make sure there's a little hook in here that it grabs onto that hook. All right. So just like this, just like so. And it's also funny because I just stitched this whole thing out maybe 15 minutes before I started the show. All right. Bum, bum, bum. Perfect. All right. So we've got this. Let's put this back in here. Third time's a charm, right? Okay. Alexandria, yes, there is a pattern. I did a show on the pumpkin table runner. It is in the link in the description. So if you go back to that video, you will find that link in there. Yes, Linda said you might want a smaller spool cap. This one is the one that I just have near me right now. It is better to have a smaller one, but they still do the job. They still do the job. Okay, I'm gonna thread my machine. All right, guys, this is it. Fingers crossed. Oh. And there's, oh. Are we good? Well, it didn't catch in that first part. Here's what we're working with. Let me switch my camera back to full. I adjust this. Well, it's going okay now. We're gonna see how it goes. Let me switch this a little closer for you. Is everyone enjoying this? Are you having fun? Because I hope this is at least entertaining for you, if anything. Okay, so let me switch my camera back. 1 second. I think we got it, guys. Sometimes you just got to troubleshoot and just double check everything, clean everything. You know, things happen. Life happens. So always got to make sure that everything's looking good. I am a little bit worried about this pumpkin, though. I feel like it did not catch that bobbin thread the first few stitches, but we'll see. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. Yay. Okay. I think we're doing good. I was not about to let this machine stop me. Not at all. But now I have orange thread all over. Yes. Joan commented, the sooner you catch a problem, the easier it is to fix. I'm telling you exactly. As soon as I heard that noise, it did not sound right. And I'm like, you know what? It's better to check and make sure we're good. I know we're live. But now you guys hopefully maybe learn something new about troubleshooting and making sure your machine is all in good hands. And see, look, it's stitching out beautifully. It's stitching out beautifully. Oh, Neva Larson, such a good comment. She said all problems are fixable. You know what? That is, my grandma actually told me that piece of advice right when I first started college. And I always say that to myself. I always do. Love that piece of advice. Zena said I'm the sewing machine whisperer. I don't know about whisperer. That has to be due to me learning from our service techs from our office and at our retail store. They have taught me everything I know. So big shout out to Chris, Felix, Mario, and Eric. They always teach me. Mainly because I'll have a problem and then I go run to them. I'm like, what happened? And then they immediately know the answer. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I knew that. All right. And look at how nice it's stitching out. Vicky asked if I use pre-threaded bobbins or fill them myself. It honestly depends. When I first started working with the machines more and more often, I was filling them myself. So I went and bought Finishing Touch I went and got that, and I got just a bunch of bobbins from our retail store and just started filling them up. But once I got two projects that were just taking forever and they were just a little bit lengthier projects, then I just started getting pre-filled because I felt like filling up my bobbins just took so much time out of my project. They're fast. It is fast to do that. But if you just want to throw a bobbin in there and keep going, pre-threaded bobbins might be your way to go. Yay, we're going smooth. Okay, I'm going to throw away all of this thread that I've got going on here. We're going good, going good. All right. We only have a few more steps left. A few more steps. And then after this, I am going to speed up my machine again because looks like we're in good shape. I love Sarah's comment. She said, my husband picks on me because I can fix issues with my machines on my own, but when it comes to fixing anything else, I yell for him to fix it. You know what? But as you should. I think that's perfect. I think that's the correct way to do it. Yeah, Cindy, I tried pre-threaded bobbins. I have been using Filtech. Let me get my I've been using these ones. And I really like them. They come in all different colors. These ones aren't quite white. They're more, like, you can kind of see that color. They're more cream. And I like them. I really do. I will admit, though, this is the first time that I'm using this color with this machine today. So I don't know if that could have been the problem, was the bobbin thread. But we seem to have fixed it. So, and it's stitching out really nicely. I'll pull the hoop out and show you the back in just a second. We'll check on how it's going. That'll be the confirmation right there. All right, so we've got this here. We've got our first pumpkin. Let me switch my camera back really quick and we'll check out this bottom. Yep, there we go. She's nice. No bird's nests here. Whoops, almost dropped that whole thing of bobbins, pre-wound bobbins. All right. I'm just going to trim my little back threads. I don't want to cause any issues. No. Yeah, the Filtex are a great one. I love those. We have those on our website as well. And also, if you are a multi-needle person, they've got the bigger sized bobbins for the multi-needles, which is really nice. Okay, let's switch back. Let's do our next one. So my next color is going to be this exquisite ES624. Love this color. I really liked the contrast between these two. Like it added so much definition. Look how shiny the exquisite threads are. I love them. All right. I am going to pick up my pace just a little bit. I'm just going to keep chugging along here. All right. How we doing? Yes, anybody who hasn't tried pre-wounds, give them a shot. They're super convenient and really easy to use. I mean, all you have to do is just take them out of whatever container they're in and stick them in your machine and you are good to go. So especially when you're working and in the middle of a project and your bobbin runs out and you don't really want to stop the project and, you know, do everything else. Oh, all right, let me do this one more time. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go back to my machine really quick. Let's move you so you can see the screen. I'm going to move this. Oop, there we go. Put that up. All right, I'm going to go here. We're going to up this stitch. So we'll go 500. That's the speed that I normally keep it at. I know there's a lot of people that love to go fast, but my biggest fear is these situations happening that you guys were just seeing. So that is not fun. So keeping it a little bit slow and steady, you're able to catch things really quickly. So that way it didn't stitch, 10 or 20 million different stitches. All right, we're going good. Everything's going good. See, I'm glad that you guys are all in agreement of going at half speed. All right. Yeah, especially Teresa said she'll go slower with more dense designs, and I definitely agree. I think that is super important because, again, if it's going so fast, you can't catch something, and then it's already halfway and could already be messing up what you've already stitched, right? So, got to be careful. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Looking at all your comments, seeing what's going on. Yeah, going slow. That's something that I had to learn to stop doing because when I would first do embroidery, I would just want to go fast. I'm like, oh, I just want to see it go and stitch out. And then I think the first time I broke a needle and all of that type of stuff, all the normal issues that you run into when trying to go fast through really big designs started happening. And I'm like, why is this happening? All you got to do is just slow down your machine, and it's all good. Now, see, look, it's going perfect. And this design, I actually, if anybody has feedback, if you did stitch it out or you're planning on stitching it out, I would love to hear feedback because I did digitize this myself. I used Floriani TCU, loved using Floriani on it. I've talked about Floriani quite a bit, but it is so great when it comes to digitizing, and I really love it because it gives me the opportunity to give you guys free designs, and it makes it so much fun to do shows because that way, like last week I gave you guys the design, and then hopefully some of you have it. Maybe some of you guys are stitching it out right now. I don't know, but it's just nice. And then if you do stitch this out, let me know of any feedback. If you like the design, if you have any like pointers or things that you would change, let me know because I love hearing all the feedback. Janet asked, is it hard to learn to digitize? Honestly, no. So I wouldn't say it's hard to learn to digitize. I would say sometimes it can be very overwhelming when you are unfamiliar with the software. So if you open up software for the first time and you see all these different buttons and all these different things going on, that's the part it can make you feel overwhelmed. But once you get to know all the features and once you get to know what all of the different buttons do and all the different features are, that's where it starts to get really easy. So it's just a little learning process. It's just like when you're sewing or you're beginning long arming or you're beginning there's lots of different things. Anything when you learn something new, it can be a little bit of a learning curve. But what I will say, something that helps is the amount of resources that are out there that are for digitizing. If you go and look, like for example, if you went and looked up Floriani TCU, there are thousands of videos of tutorials for digitizing, how to do logos, how to do any question you have about digitizing. It's on YouTube, or we even have videos from our shows. We've got Trevor Conquergood has come on the show before and talked about Floriani TCU, and he's the software manager, and he's completely hands-on with Floriani software. And we have so many resources on our YouTube channel, and Floriani has so many resources, and I have taken advantage of it. I am always looking on their website, looking at new features they're adding. It's really nice when you have brands that really strive to give you the best education as well. Oops, see, and I'm talking while doing this, so I'm throwing myself off here. Okay. Bam, we are good to go. All right, now we're doing the stems. But yes, if anybody ever has any questions about digitizing or Floriani TCU in specifics, I also do have Embrilliance. I'm not as familiar with Embrilliance as I am with TCU, but I do want to learn more. But if you guys have any questions, I will gladly help you out. No problem. All right, so we're doing those stems. Exactly. Cynthia said, when I slow down my machine, I have less issues. Yes. Slow and steady wins the race. All right. And just a reminder, if we have people coming in here that we're not watching the beginning, if you want this design that's stitching out right here, you can go to the link in the description and go pick it up. It's a free design for you. So cute. And there's also instructions, written instructions if you are learning better or you can understand better with written instructions. And there's also all the design formats. So go check that out. All right, we only have a few more steps. We've just got the lettering and we've got the final stitches. Sandy asked if Embrilliance is more user-friendly. I would say both have a lot of great features. I will say Embrilliance might be a little bit more user-friendly to use, only because when you get Floriani TCU, you're getting every single software application that Floriani comes out with. So you're not just getting like what's one, for example, you're not just getting Fusion, you're getting everything. So you're getting every single software that Floriani has all combined into one, and that is TCU. And Brilliance, you can get certain things for different types of digitizing that you want to do, which is nice if you don't want to go all in with TCU. So, ooh, and I dropped my thread. All right, now the question is, what color should I do? I really liked how the brown looked for my lettering, so I'm gonna do that again today. I wanted to switch it up, but I ended up not switching it up. It's fine. You like what you like, right? Yes, Embrilliance is definitely something. It's the more affordable option, and you're able to pick, you can do the different levels for what kind of digitizing you want to do, because if you don't want to have all of the features and all the advanced features and you just want basic digitizing, Embrilliance is awesome. And you know who else is really good with Embrilliance, probably way better than I would be, is Carly Bell. So Carly Bell, we've had her a lot on the show, and she uses Embrilliance. She uses Embrilliance pretty frequently. So she is also a great educator if you were looking for more info on Embrilliance. Okay, we're doing some brown. This is a brother dark brown. Once I get this stitched out, I will show you the color, but we're gonna do that now. All right, but yeah, YouTube, honestly, it's such a great resource for learning about software, especially, not only just on our channel, but just everywhere on YouTube. You can type it into the search bar and there's so many resources. Even another thing, kind of what we were doing today, is troubleshooting. There's so many videos out there. And I was actually thinking, would you guys want like a Takeover Tuesday where we go through, like maybe I convince one of our service technicians to sit for a few minutes and just go over some of the common problems and how to fix them? What do you think? Let me know. Because I feel like we get lots of calls in. We get lots of, I heard a noise, but I think we're okay. I heard something real quick. But we get a lot of the same questions, every day. And they're completely valid questions, but it might be nice to have it all in one video so you can go back and watch. Oh my gosh, all the comments. Okay, I will have to do that then. I will have to get convincing. I will have to do that. Ooh, Lisa also said there's a Facebook group for Embrilliance users. That's awesome. That also another thing, Facebook groups. I mean, even just with our Facebook group, we've got so many different things in on there, and a lot of you guys ask questions, and it's so great. So I'm just keeping an eye. If I stop mid-sentence, I'm just keeping an eye on this stitching here, making sure we are good. Ashley Jones, yep. She's done demos with us before. Cindy Hogan has as well. Penny asked, but could the questions be about different machines? I mean, we can just start with the basic ones. Like, we can start the show with just some basic questions that we get a lot just here at Sewing Machines Plus. But then we could open it up to you guys. So you could comment questions that you have, and we can try and answer as many as we could. So you have a chance to get something answered about your machine as well. But I will say though, like Brother and Baby Lock are very easy to solve problems, under the same umbrella, because they are very similar machines. So you can kind of cover a lot with just Baby Lock and Brother and answer those questions. And then Janome and Elna, you can kind of group them together. But yes, we will have to do that because that's something that I could learn, you know, from too. And we could not have a problem like the bird's nest again, even though that is really, that's, you can't really control that sometimes. It'll happen. But good to know. I like this. Maybe we'll like stitch out a design. Maybe I'll like, I don't know. I've had a lot of ideas on getting the service techs involved, but it's just a matter of convincing them. I think they'll do it. They'll do it for SMP Nation. All right. Another piece of advice that I have. So if you're starting to see puckering, this design, you don't see any puckering because you've got the batting and the stippling and all that. I haven't had a single problem with any puckering here. It is going a little bit faster. It's a little bit louder. So if you're having trouble hearing me, I'm so sorry. This will be done in just a second. But sticking another layer of stabilizer underneath your machine, like right here, just sliding it under, stopping the machine, sliding it under, and just continuing on also helps a lot without having to hoop and rehoop and remove your project. So that is really a nice little tip for you. Ooh, okay. See, these are good questions. How to fix the needle threader. These are good ones. I like these. I'll have to write some of these down. All right, so we're finishing up the last word. All right, it's coming together. Now, I will say with this, there are going to be some jump cuts you're going to have to do just from the P. And then I think in the word season, there's a couple. So just be mindful of those. Make sure you do that before you, if you're giving this away, make sure you check and make sure there's no jump cuts still hanging out. Yes. Yeah, Teresa, exactly. Baby Lock and Brother manuals are even identical. Yep. All right. Pat said she can't function without the needle threader. Neither can I, Pat. I cannot. Oh, yay! So exciting. Yeah, Ivana, I actually did, for one of the projects, Ivana was talking about adding another layer of batting if you're having trouble with with more hot stuff or even puckering and things like that. When I first stitched this out, I actually used a layer of Insulbright on the top. So this top part, when you set it down, was Insulbright, and then on the other side, I did a layer of Insulbright, and then underneath I did batting. So it was a little bit thicker, and I kind of liked it. It made it look a little bit thicker and just gave it some more stability, which I liked. So, like it. But the good thing about this design, I kind of made it so that way you have a lot of room to play and have fun with it and do what you want. So, I mean, you could change all the colors. You could, there's so much you could do. You can pick out different fabrics. There's a lot of customization you can do. So that is super fun. I'd love to see someone do these texts with some variegated thread. Love variegated thread. If you have like an autumny variegated thread, like maybe an orangey, browns, yellows. I don't even know. I'll have to check and make sure that is a thing. I'm sure there's one out there, but that would be really pretty to see. Or the pumpkins. The pumpkins and variegated thread. Oh, love it. Yeah, Bernadette said Insulbright sounds amazing. I love Insulbright. I don't know why it's just become such a preference, mainly because when I do projects like this, they're mainly like, pan holders or what else? Coasters or oven mitts or things like that. So most of the time, these are going to be used with hot items. So it's just always nice to do that. All right, guys, we are almost done. Almost done. Yes, a variegated pumpkin. Wouldn't that be so cute? I'll have to go snag some variegated thread really quick. Now, I'm going to show you a trick real quick at the end of this, once we finish stitching this out in just a second. All right, we're finishing up the last letter. All right. See, I'm glad we're on the same page about variegated thread. Okay, so now that we're here, I'm going to try and get you a better angle really quick. So now we are here. We are at the final steps. So here's where our backing fabric is going to come into play. So we've got this. Look at how cute these pumpkins are. I bought a full yard. Normally I just shop with fat quarters. I just buy fat quarters because I just don't want to waste too much fabric, and I have so many scraps I have to hold back. But this is so cute, and I definitely want to use it more. I have way more. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put one. I try my best to keep this in the center. So I'm going to try as hard as I can to keep this fold in the center. Now, one problem that I often run into when it comes to like a mug rug like this where you finish it with these two pieces, I always get very scared that mainly because this has happened to me before, and I'm sure this has happened to other people as well. But when you put this over and you have that overlap and your foot like totally pulls this back piece of fabric, that's just my nightmare. So I try and make the machine go slow. Again, we really want it to be slow. So I'm going to lay this one about here. So I'm going to do this one a little bit less, well, a little bit more than halfway. Do it like this, a little bit more than halfway, and then we're going to lay this one perfectly halfway because it always bugs me when it's not perfectly centered. And watch, I'm going to do this and it's still not going to be perfectly centered, but it's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect to be pretty. In the name of Miss Alexis Galloway, she is awesome, and she always says that, which when she first said that, I always like it stuck with me. I'm like, she's so right. And that is so like comforting as a crafter. Like, oh, we always strive for perfection, but we really, don't have to. It's all about the art. Okay. So last step. Now I am going to put my hands by the hoop, but I want to let you know that it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Just trust me. Okay. I've already been through the worst. When I was working at the retail store, I was working on a project and the needle did go through my finger. So that has happened before, so I'm not fearful, but I get very paranoid that it's not going to work out. And somebody did say tape it down. Yes, you are so right. But I ran out of tape this morning when I was working on my other one. So we're just doing it the old fashioned way. But I turned my machine speed down. That is so important. So important. Okay. So actually, you know what? I have another type of tape. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go run. I'm going to go run and get my tape. You can still hear me. So that's the good thing. Okay. I'm going. Ha-ha. All right. I used to use the, oh gosh, what's the brand? R&K. I love R&K's paper tape and their tape. I do have some Kimberbell handy. Okay, so we're going to do that. We are not risking anything. After the bird's nest situation, we are not going to risk anything. So, all right, I'm going to take a little piece of tape and I'm going to lay it just right there. Perfect. All right. Everybody can take a sigh of relief. I won't be sticking my hands by the machine. Everybody can relax. Don't worry, nothing's going to happen. Okay. All right. So, I've got it all threaded. This next step, it doesn't really matter when what thread you use, because this next step won't be shown. You won't see it. This is just like the final tack down stitch and the final closing stitch before we take it out of the hoop and unfold it. So let me do this. Again, turned my machine down. We're good. So let's start. Now I'll just pull it like right about there. I don't want to get, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. It's always this side. This side is always easy. Easy peasy. But it's this one where it easily gets caught. Oops. And you are getting hit by the hoop. All right. Okay. We're good. We're good. I know a lot of people will use different types of tape. I just get very paranoid that it has, too much gunk on the other side, or it's got that adhesive. I don't want it to gunk up my machine at all. Okay, here's my little trick. This you can easily go on, take this out of the hoop and cut it out. I like to do this stitch one more time. So I'm going to go back to my machine screen. We're going to go here just to make sure everything is good. So now we're going to go to the last one, and I'm going to do this same stitch just one more time just to make sure it's secure. Okay, perfect. One more time. One more time. I always do. I don't know why. I just prefer it. It just makes me feel a little bit better. All right. See, now it looks a little bit more secure. Make it sturdy. Exactly, Roxanne, exactly. And you're on the hoop again. All right. And this is where tearaway is going to come in really handy, because it's going to be really easy. All right. So now it's going to cut the thread for me. Don't do anything just yet. I'm very impatient. All right, and we're done. All right, so let me give you a close-up. So this is what it should look like when you're all done. Okay, now I'm going to peel this tape. All right, let me just pull this really quick. I'm going to get that tape out of there. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera. And paper tape, that all just came out so easily. So paper tape is really nice. It's one of my favorites, between that and the R&K. I like the R&K one because it has a little bit more, paper tape isn't super sticky. R&K has that stickiness to it, but it doesn't gunk up the machine. Okay, we're here. So first things first, I am going to remove this all from the hoop. Now, normally I would do this at the Wendy, the supply list is in the link in the description. So if you go down to get that design, there's a supply list and instructions in that link. So that is all there for you, because I know a lot of people prefer written form. So, all right, we took it out of the hoop. And again, normally I would probably be at my workstation. So I'm normally like cutting this with a cutter and things like that. But actually, I could take you over there. We'll do it right here just for now. Okay, anyways. I'm getting all discombobulated. All right, so first step, I'm going to just tear this off. Notice how I didn't have to do any cutting in this whole process. I mean, of course, when you are picking out your fabrics, you have to cut that, but you don't have to do any cutting in the hoop. You don't have to do anything, because I'm going to show you how you do that without having to do it in the hoop. Because one thing about in the hoop designs that I really don't like is if you have to cut something and actually remove it from the machine, because I can't tell you how many times, and this could be user error, this could be me, but I can't tell you how many times I have taken it out of the hoop, trimmed it, and then put it back in, and it's not aligned anymore. So there is easy ways you can fix that, but I just want to not have to deal with that from the jump, you know? So with this, all I'm gonna do now is cut a 1/4 inch around all my sides. And look at this, you still have scraps. I mean, it depends with each person how much you use, but I still have some scraps if I want to use this for another project. So I'm just gonna go and trim. I actually picked up these Kai scissors. These are the Kai 5210, the best scissors ever. I think these are the ones that Angela was talking about when she came on our show a little while ago. So, and I'm also going to show you one more thing, one last little tip to make your mug rug look the best it can be. So, we're going to keep going. Now, I'm going to trim the corners off. I'm going to trim the corners off. Woo! That's so much fun. Don't get your stitches. I just barely almost got this stitch, but we're close enough. Okay, so now we're here. It's inside out. What do? We turn it inside out. And this is always the fun part. You guys can see how not strong I am. But if I'm lucky today, we will be able to do this. Okay. Now, another one of my favorite tools, this R&K turning tool. There are so many different tools out there. You can use chopsticks. You can use skewers. You could use, oh my gosh, any type of stick like this to get all your corners out makes a world of a difference. World of a difference. All right, we're going to keep going. Now this is getting caught. Now I got to do this side. All right. And also, I would just like to let everybody know this is a 20-minute stitch out, and I made this an hour and 20 minutes. It will be way faster if you don't have a me talking your ear off. Just an FYI. Okay. Gotta get it all out. All right. That's why I always like doing that last double stitch, because it makes sure that we are all good to go. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. And let me just make sure all of our corners are done. I should make a matching set. Now that I have 2 mug rugs, I might as well just make a whole thing. Okay. All right. And if my calculations are correct, we have a mug rug. Now, what I do, obviously, I went over and pressed it and made it look a little bit nicer. But there you go. There you go. There is your little pumpkin mug rugs. So cute. So much fun. Oh, and remember when I was like, don't forget you have jump cuts on all your letters. Almost forgot. So you can just go ahead and trim those. Not a big deal. But yeah, we are all good. Woohoo! Yay, we did it. So happy. We had some problems, but we work through the problems. Okay. Yay! Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me while I did this. Oops, it's upside down. I need to go press this. It's going to bug me if I don't press this. Okay. All right. Well, I think that is going to conclude this little project for today. And if my amazingly amazing Roger Assistante is ready, Kyle, you want to come in and say hi with your cheese balls? Kyle got a great snack. All right, Roger, are you ready to spin the wheel? Okay, you couldn't hear him. Guys, almost dropped my hoop. Okay. Yes, I'm going to get it in just a second. All right, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for some giveaways? Okay, let's do it. All right, first up, we are going to give away the amazing S&P Sew mats that we love so much. These are the best. I had one under my machine this whole time, and it helped with that sound of vibration, especially when I'm live and you guys can't, if you can't hear me because the machine is so loud. These help so much with vibration and noise and sound. It is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and give one away. So let me share this to my screen, and Roger, go ahead and spin that wheel. Bum, ba, ba-dum. Kimmin! Woohoo! All right, Kimmin, you have just won a sew mat of your choice. We've got 13 or 14 different sizes and 13 or 14 different colors, 4 different sizes you can go choose from. Go to our website, go to SMPLive.tv to redeem that prize, and then go let us know what size and what color sew mat you want. All right, let's do one more, Roger. Spin again. Spin the wheel. Guys, we need to make a spin the wheel song. I don't even know how it would go. Teresa, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if I messed up your name. Jukowicz? Is that how? Please tell me if I say that wrong. I'm so sorry. But good news for you. You just won a sew mat of your choice. So if you'd like to claim that, go ahead. Go to smplive.tv to claim that prize. Let us know what size and what color you want. You can go to SMP Live TV and see all the options there. But how exciting. Congrats, Teresa. That's awesome. I am curious, with your last name, do you own Juki Machines? Or are you a different brand machine? I'd love to know that, because that would be the best thing ever, and Juki would have to reach out to you. Absolutely. Okay, next up, we've got a $100 gift card from SMP. So if you would like to go shop anything that you saw today, you can go claim that right now and get $100 off your order. And also, I feel like I should mention, now we used to be at $49 for free shipping. Now we're at $35. Woohoo. Okay, Roger, spin that wheel. Dun, dun, dun. Who's going to win it? Who's going to do it? Tammy and Gary Thacker, congratulations. You have just won a $100 gift card to go shop anything at Sewing Machines Plus. So if you'd like to go claim that prize, head to smplive.tv, fill out the information. The most important thing that we need is a email from you, so that way we can send you that code. But congratulations, you just won a $100 gift card. All right, you guys. Well, that was Takeover Tuesday today. I'm so excited that you guys joined me. You sat with me through the trials and the tribulations of the bird's nests and the hooping issues. So thank you all for staying tuned and watching. I had so much fun doing this project today, and stay tuned because we will definitely be doing more. I'm going to go work on Floriani TCU right now for the next project. But I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Go stitch out that mug rug. Let me know what you think. If you have any feedback at all on the design itself, I would love to hear about it and love your suggestions. But other than that, I'm going to get out of here and clean up my mess now. But I will see you guys very, very soon. And let me know what you guys want to see next, because I want to hear from you. Okay, I'm getting out of here. Okay, goodbye. I'll see you later. Bye.